Hello, and today we're going to be doing What If Gerald Ford Won in 1976, Part 2. This is obviously an alternative elections, and first we're going to start in 2004 because Part 1 ended in 2000. So the final winner in last round was Al Gore, I'm pretty sure. So we'll start with Al Gore versus I'd say hmm, I'll I'll see the primaries because sometimes I don't know exactly who would have 2004 Republican. We're gonna say John McCain runs in 2004. 4 years earlier because it's an incumbent president, and it's not it's an incumbent Democratic president, so he's not running against another Republican incumbent president. So first, let's start with safe states. So Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia. Well, Georgia would probably be safe under Al Gore. North Carolina will be likely. Missouri probably tilt Republican. Kentucky probably safe. Um, Indiana, well, Al Gore's home state will be lean. Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio would go lean. West Virginia would probably go to the Democrat. Al Gore. Virginia would probably stay Republican. Actually, I'm thinking of 2024, so um, the presidential election, but this is an entirely alternate election. So DC, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, Maine at large. Maine's first. Maine second would be likely. New Hampshire would probably be likely too. Um, Illinois safe. The West Coast safe except for Alaska. Utah would be safe. Arizona probably likely. John McCain's home state. Nevada probably lean. And Colorado probably likely. Um, because I feel like Al Gore would probably be unpopular just because of 9/11 and his response to it. Probably, I'm I'm assuming that 9/11 happens and are like in both timelines, ours and this one. So New Mexico probably lean. Iowa tilt. Actually, I think Iowa would go Republican, but by the narrowest margin. But Minnesota lean. Wisconsin tilt. Michigan likely, and Pennsylvania tilt. So 262 to 276, John McCain wins. And this is going to get funky, but Donald Trump in 2008, as a Democrat, runs against John McCain, the Republican. Um, he would probably do this unironically. So, yeah. So first, John McCain probably gets absolutely slaughtered in the Rust Belt. Probably gets absolutely slaughtered in the Northeast too. Maybe New Jersey gets a little closer. West Virginia probably flips though, but Trump does way better in New Mexico. He probably flips Nevada. Um, he wins in the competitive state of Iowa. He wins in Ohio. So he wins through the Rust Belt, while John McCain's margins get narrower in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Probably flips actually. So does Missouri and Tennessee. I could see flipping too. Um, you can see a little bridge, and there's like 4 states that are red in that little bridge. So yeah, this would probably be the majority of the damage Trump can do. Um, he probably doesn't win in Virginia or Colorado. He gets them closer though. Um, maybe he gets Nebraska second closer, maybe Montana, um, and the Dakotas. So yeah. Well, I think New Hampshire would probably be competitive though. But the rest of the states are very, very blue for Donald Trump that are in his column, because he's running as a Democrat. Remember that. So he doesn't like get that same disadvantage in the blue states. He gets a disadvantage in the red states though. Um, so now, um, 2012. I changed the decade. 2012 probably would be Donald Trump versus, I'd say, this is gonna be one where I'm probably gonna need to search. 2012 Republican primary. I'm sorry if this is the boring part, but I don't entirely know the candidates for each of these elections. We're just gonna say Ron Paul as a Republican um, challenger. So first, let's get to safe Democrat states for the incumbent. Donald Trump wins Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii. Probably wins Nevada by a likely margin. Gets New Mexico safe. Wins the Northeast pretty big. Um, he wins Maine. He wins Pennsylvania. He gets Michigan, Wisconsin likely. Minnesota's probably safe. Iowa, Ohio, Virginia probably flips. Actually, Wisconsin would get closer because that's Ron Paul's home state. Um, but he doesn't flip, obviously. Colorado likely. And Missouri probably goes tilt. Um, he flips. Did I make Florida safe? That's my bad if I made it safe. That's a mistake. In 2004, it would probably be like lean Republican. 2008, tilt Republican, and now it would flip to Donald Trump. A tilt margin, and he probably wins West Virginia. He works well with the coal miners and stuff that live in that state. He promises them more jobs because he's probably using the same message as he is as a Republican right now. So Nebraska's second would probably be like lean. Um, Kansas likely, Oklahoma. The South probably gets more competitive. North Carolina flips back. Um, I think Kentucky goes likely. Indiana might actually flip. And then Tennessee probably goes back to the Democrats too. Texas probably goes likely. South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana. Okay. Arizona lean and Alaska safe. This would probably be the map 359 to 179. Less than Obama, but we're going to get to Obama soon. Um, and then in 2016, this will be crazy, but it's going to be Donald Trump's vice president, which I think would probably be Democrats, senators in 2008. I'd say um, Dick Durbin. So Dick Durbin would probably be his running mate. I'm not I'm not saying he would have, but I'm just saying he might have. So first, let's let's do the Republican, which would probably be, I'd say, Marco Rubio. So you know what's gonna happen in Florida. Georgia probably gets more safe. So does North Carolina. Tennessee probably goes back to safe. Kentucky probably wins even in West Virginia. Texas goes safe. So does Kansas. Nebraska's second flips. All of the red states get redder because Donald Trump does not follow through with his promises fully. Um, I don't know if he would or not, but I'm just gonna say he didn't fully follow through with them. Um, we're gonna say Nevada flips barely. Missouri goes lean. Indiana flips back. Um, Iowa goes back to the Republicans. Ohio does too. Colorado gets closer. Virginia flips back. And then Democrats lose narrowly in Wisconsin. They get closer in Michigan and Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island. New Hampshire gets very close. Maine's second and Maine's first get a little closer. Um, and then Oregon gets closer, and I think that's it. Well, Minnesota does get closer too. Closer than Michigan, and so does New Mexico. And this would be probably be the map. As you see, the middle of the country is very red. All the coast areas are very blue, except for the dot in Illinois and the Colorado and New Mexico area. Most of the middle of the country is red. Um, Then you have Marco Rubio as president in 2020, and this is when COVID happens. And the Democrats run a very strong person, which is Bernie Sanders. I'm not saying I like Bernie Sanders. He's just stronger than most candidates, I think, in the Democratic primary. So I'm just trying to do the most strong Democratic candidate. I think New Hampshire goes likely, Connecticut, Rhode Island. All the blue states get way blue. Uh, so does Oregon. Minnesota gets less competitive. Why is that not filling out? Okay, there we go. Colorado could probably, with the trends, probably goes safe blue. Um, Ohio flips back. So does Wisconsin. Iowa. But Marco Rubio does do better. Florida, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, West Virginia. Virginia probably flips back. And this will be the first time in this prediction Missouri is wrong on the winner. It goes narrowly to Rubio. I think there should be one more state that is likely, which is Arizona. And that's it. That's the states for Democrats and Republicans in 2020. And this is the final election, which will be Bernie Sanders versus who would be a good candidate? Marco Rubio as vice president would probably be, let me search, 2020, 2020, no, 2016 vice presidential picks. Republican. We're gonna say Jeff Sessions. So Jeff Sessions runs against Bernie Sanders. Um, so Bernie Sanders does a pretty mediocre job. Doesn't really do much. Doesn't really help COVID that much. So, and he causes more inflation. So you're gonna see what happens. Nevada probably goes less red. Arizona probably goes about the same. Georgia probably gets less red. Actually, probably still safe. North Carolina, South Carolina go likely. Florida goes lean. Um, Indiana probably reverts back to safe Republican. Um, Iowa flips. Missouri goes likely Republican. Ohio flips. Oh wait, we're not on the correct decade. So we're gonna start with the safe Republican states. Obviously, um, I was already gonna show you that, but I was on the wrong decade. My bad. Um, and then you have Nevada gets less red. So far this is what happened, and this should be um, Bernie Sanders does way bad in Colorado. He does better on the West Coast. Um, he probably loses Virginia. I'm not going to lie. Um, he wins Maryland, Delaware, D.C., New Jersey, all of these blue states up here. Um, he probably wins both the districts in Maine, and he probably loses New Mexico. And because of his age, Minnesota probably goes tilt Republican, and uh, Wisconsin. Wait, no, not Minnesota. It's the opposite. Um, this way. Um, Pennsylvania probably goes tilt Republican, and Michigan goes tilt Democrat. So this is the map, and this is what happens. So I hope you have a good day. In this election, Jeff Sessions wins the presidency. Fine, the last election in this episode, the last election we did, Jeff Sessions wins the presidency, making it mostly Republican this time. Um, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.